Welcome back, everyone. And in this lesson today, we're going to get into the phantom hole technique. And this was a technique designed by one of my colleagues at KCTCS. It's a very cool technique that can help you whenever you're working with additive manufacturing and 3D printing, but Eric Woolridge of Somerset was the one that came up with this design, and I want to show you guys how you can apply it to this project. Now first we come down here and look, and we have this issue. We've got this part here, and there is pressure being put on this pin, and it's causing it to shear or break right down through here. Now I want you guys to draw this thing up first, and it's 35 millimeters in depth, okay? 35 millimeters thick. So when I come over here and I take a look at it, and this is what I put together. Now, you could have it just squared off, but I put a lot of fillets and radiuses in it, so it kind of looks like that. But the point is that it is shearing right through here. It's just this is probably a little bit of pressure in this direction, and probably your force is probably going in this direction. So what's happening is this thing is just shearing off. So let's go in there and let's use this phantom line technique, phantom hole technique. And what you're doing really is you're taking, and like this part is going to have infill, right? It's not going to be solid. It's going to have a percentage of infill, and the original part, if we go back and look, had 30% infill, and it's ripping, and the client is asking you just to put 50% infill in to solve the problem. But the thing of it is, in additive manufacturing, you want to make it as efficient as you can. Using less materials means it's going to be cheaper to build, because not only is the material less, but the time spent printing is less. So we're going to keep it at 30% infill, but we're going to add this phantom hole technique to add some support, some stiffeners in here that will try to resolve this issue of this shear and break over time. So let's go in here and I'll show you how to do it. You guys have already seen the first few videos of this and how to do the phantom hole technique, but I want to show you how I would apply it to this. Now again, remember, they're going to be shells, the shell that goes around this, and most of the time it's 3 layers thick is what I use. But what you're going to do is you're going to put a cut in here. It's not fake, it's there, but it's so small that it's not going to ever represent anything. But what happens is, whenever you take and slice this, it's going to recognize those small cuts in there, and it's going to put the 3 layers of shell, or however many shells you tell it to put in there as far as that. And it's going to place that in there, and it's going to make stiffeners inside of it to try to mitigate this problem of this shear. So let me show you how to do that. This is what I do. I'd come up here and construct offset plane. I'd catch the face of this as my plane, and I'd pull it back just a fuzz. I want to turn it to my side so I can get a side view of it. I'd do -1, maybe -1. If I can get this to work. -1, and that looks pretty good. I could probably get by with that. So, okay. And on that plane, I want to put myself a new sketch. Create new sketch. Right on that. And if you'll go over here into your sketch palette, you can hit slice, and it slices that so you can see. Also, I want to make sure that I want to know exactly where this line is, because that's where it's shearing at, right on that line. And I will come in here and create and come down to project. And what I want to do is project that line onto this face, and right there it is. You see what I mean? So I've got a projection line on that, because I want to be able to see where that projection line is. So this is totally up to you. How do you want to design this to give it the stiffeners? I'm just going to take real simple. I'm just going to go right here to the center of this. I'll stretch it out, close to the edges. I'll do something like that. I want to offset it just a little bit. Something like that would be okay. finish my sketch. And I want to extrude that. Okay, so hit extrude, and sometimes it's not always easy to catch that in this mode. So sometimes you have to change your visual styles, and let's see what we can do with that here in just a second. Nope, it's not going to let me catch it there, is it? Nope. So you can change your visual styles and see if you can do any better with it. I can do wireframe with hidden edges. Let's see if it'll let me pick that up now. Nope. Nope. So you just got to work with it till you're able to get that to catch. So extrude. Let's see if we can just turn that to right. Sometimes you can turn it. Let's do a wireframe here. Nope. Let's try that one. Aha! Somehow it's letting me do it now. Did y'all see that? And I'll go back and I'll show you what style that I was in. But it let me do that. I'm only going to cut it 1 millimeter. We'll do a cut and just 1 millimeter because it's not enough to really, or not 1 millimeter, but 0.1 millimeters. So it's going to be really, really thin cut. It's not going to be very noticeable. But anyways, the visual style that I used was, I used wireframe with visible edges only. And I'm going to go back to shade it with hidden lines and things that you can see. So what I want to do is, you see that little cut in there? I want to do a pattern back through here of it. I want to array it back so much, and that way we're going to have these stiffeners. It comes all the way up and around, and as this thing gets pressure, those stiffeners are going to help provide enough protection against the stresses to hold that in there. It's going to provide it that stability and structural stability to hold that in place, kind of like a strap. If you think about it, like in the back of your truck, if you got something you're hauling, put a strap on it, holds it down. But you don't have to follow this method that I'm doing. You can do something a little different. So again, I want to do a rectangular pattern. I come over here and I go to my history to catch my cut, and now my direction, I want to be in my X direction. I could click on a line if I wanted to. I like to use the origins though. So I'll do an X direction, and let's see what 1 millimeter looks like. I'll turn it to the side. Let's do 1.5. That looks a little better. Let's see if I do about 8 of those. Do about 10 of those. Might spread them out just a little further. 3. It's a little bit too much. 5. That's looking better. Let's do 18 of those. Is that too much? Yeah, it must be. Let's do 12. Oh, I got off the pattern somehow, my direction. Alright, so let's go back in here and set my direction, and it should be in the X direction. Let's just try it again. When in doubt, start again. Click on that one, and the direction, I like X. There we go. 3 millimeters. Yeah, that's looking better. I just want to do 2 millimeters. 1.5 looks even better. We'll do about 12 of those. Spacing. I want to do the spacing. 1.5, and that spaces them equally apart. So 1 millimeter, let's go a little bit less than that, 0.75 millimeter, and let's do like, or was it 0.75? See, we shifted it again on the direction. 0.75. Let's do this about 12 in the X direction. Dably, I'm hitting something wrong there. There we go. Now we've got it. That looks a lot better. Let's go one more. 13. And I think when I've done that in the past, it wants to do something weird with it. It does. Every time that you go back and hit that as a large number, it's doing that. So come in here, grab that, select the direction of X. We'll get it this time. 0.75. I want to do 13. So that might be some trouble that you'll have on this, but I want to go to spacing. For some reason, when I was going past a large number, it wanted to shift it into a different direction. But this is perfect, so I hit OK on that. So I've got cuts all the way through there in that phantom hole technique, which is going to be perfect now. So whenever I slice this, there are going to be a lot of shells in there, and it's going to provide us a little bit of extra material, these stiffeners in here, to keep this thing from wanting to shear. So again, follow that submission form to turn this in. But now, you guys, you don't have to do it the way I did. You could turn these cuts completely 90 degrees and have them flat with a horizontal plane. It doesn't matter. It's up to you how you guys want to do this. But use this phantom hole technique to make this little part stronger up here. If you have any questions, please contact me.